Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So the big thing this time out is that we have the New York Comic Con schedule, so we know the details about the Avatar panel. So straight away, it is just a publishing panel. There's no Avatar Studios panel, so no like super hype, but still we have rather big expectations for this one, which we will get to. But first, a little bit of other news. So obviously the Funko Pops are continuing to be announced for the upcoming wave. The new Funko Pop that we have now got a look at is this bigger kind of pop super, I guess, whatever you want to call it, King Bumi. So we have the previous kind of normal Bumi, sort of battle focused Bumi, but now we actually have this proper King Bumi on the throne. So it looks pretty nice. Cool to see Bumi getting another kind of alternate pop here, so that should work pretty well. Now we're just kind of waiting to see this warrior Sokka and if they do anything else. The other piece of news just before this is Nickelodeon AllStar Brawl. They are doing AllStar Brawl 2, and I think it's coming out in November. So they're in the stage where they are revealing characters. Now, this is obviously a Smash Bros-esque game, so it's a fighting game. It is not entirely Avatar focused, so you know, keep that in mind. The first game had Aang, Toph, and Korra. So far, I think they've just announced Aang for this game, but there's probably a good chance Korra comes back, Toph comes back, and other characters. They're highlighting in this one that Aang has different moves. This is like a full different kind of moveset thing. Again, not my style of game for the most part. Like, I enjoy Smash Bros, but like I can't see myself getting this just for the Avatar content exactly the same as with the first game. But it is cool for anyone who did check out the original game that they seem to be, you know, getting the chance to do this second one here. But you know, nothing super exciting just yet, in my opinion. Now we get into New York Comic Con. So New York Comic Con, as you can see up here, is October 12th to the 15th. So we're about a month away from this convention actually happening. So we do have one Avatar panel, one Avatar thing from a search. This is all that came up, at least right now, a month out. So we have the classic water, earth, fire, air, continuing the Avatar legacy. It's going to be the Saturday, October 14th of the convention, 3 to 4 p.m. And it is pretty much the generic description. So we have Abrams Books, Dark Horse Comics, Nickelodeon, and Magpie Games. So that's exactly the same lineup as San Diego Comic-Con that we just had. Panel worthy of Avatar, joint publishing creators, writers of both of them for an exploration of the world. Now, so far, there's just one guest. Mike Mayhack. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. And now, obviously, that is a name that, like, I don't immediately associate with Avatar. I don't believe this is someone who has worked on any of them. Looking up who this is a comic artist and writer, has done graphic novels before. But from what I can tell, apart from, I think, a bit of fan art, there's no obvious Avatar connection here. So I'm kind of like, why is he on the Avatar panel here? So I assume this is for some sort of a comic-like thing, but it almost doesn't feel like there's a spot for someone, because we basically know our creative team for Avatar Comics. You know, Faith Aaron Hicks, Peter Wortman. We know the Korra creative team, at least as it was, is Alexandria Monique on art and Kiku Hughes as the writer. Now, maybe that's changed. Maybe that's part of the weirdness about why there was a delay in announcing this comic. Who knows? But otherwise, I'm not actually sure what the situation is here. So we have to wait and see here. Like, this could be an error early on. Stuff like this, I think, has happened in the past. But the schedule is up and he's attached to this panel. So I don't really know what the focus is. But otherwise, the idea for this panel realistically is that announcements do need to be made. So they announced the new Avatar comic, the Bounty Hunter, the Tea Brewer. I wouldn't expect to see really too much of that. Maybe they'll do what they did last year, where in the same way they kind of like announced Azula at the Spirit Temple at SDCC, but then we actually got a little bit of like early preview page stuff at the New York Comic Con. Maybe they'll do that. It's still maybe a little bit early, but well, you know, we might see something. But the real thing here is that they have to announce the Korra comic. People were confused, baffled, just really confused about why they didn't do it at SDCC. It caused a bit of an issue. Just the complete lack of communication, and it's skipping a convention for no obvious reason. So I think it's just a requirement that they announce it here. That's the expectations for this, and that is the kind of bare minimum, is that we actually hear about that. Otherwise, where are Korra comics? And it's been a while since the last one. We just need it. I would love Abrams Books to announce something. Their involvement in the San Diego Comic-Con panel is still a mystery to this day. I'm not sure what the situation was there. But obviously it's been a few months now since the release of Legacy of Yang Zhen. They didn't obviously say something that was like the announcement of a new book. And I think it's long enough now where it kind of feels like you probably should be addressing, or at least teasing, the future of the novels with this. Chronicles of the Avatar Book 5, it would be nice at the very least to come out of this with the idea of complete confirmation that more is coming. With Dark Horse, like obviously there's probably not too much of a hope for another Avatar comic announcement, but like I said, Korra comic announcement needs to happen. On the Nickelodeon side of things, I don't really know what else they really have to talk about, because they already like addressed like I Am Zuko. You know, maybe they might talk about that Heart of a Hero book a little bit more, but I think like we already basically know everything. They did mention that at SDCC as well. So like, is there any other style of book to actually announce? It's a little bit unclear. Magpie also seemingly didn't have too much to say at the previous convention. So hopefully here maybe they can actually for the first time mention the Spirit World book. Again, I don't think they're quite at the point where they've shipped out the Republic City book. At least I haven't heard about my copy shipping out yet, but I'm assuming in or around the build-up will be when the physical copies start to actually go out, and then people will be asking what is next. So details on that Spirit World book would be interesting. In general, I would say last year's conventions, New York Comic Con probably had more like visuals associated with it. So that is the kind of hope here. It is the more generally kind of comic focused of the two conventions. So hopefully we get the this delivering here. Obviously SDCC for the most part didn't. But we'll see what happens here with this one. I'm very interested to see what's going on with the whole Mike Myack situation. Is this a mistake? Is this a almost like surprise reveal that actually there is some other comic coming? Because the only thing I can think of is that we feel pretty confident Alexandria Monique is still the Korra comic artist. So unless they've switched writers for the Korra comic, I'm not sure where Mike Myack is maybe fitting in, unless he's somehow like the new writer on Chronicles of the Avatar, or he's getting like his own book from maybe Nickelodeon published. Not sure what the situation is there, but it's very standard. There's nothing else to really go on here. I'd say probably it's one of those things where I'll be checking out this listing every so often over the coming weeks just to see how this actually changes, because otherwise the expectations would probably be just that it has the standard people representing each of the different companies here, but will there be anyone else? It's kind of rather unclear, but nice that we, a month in advance know what to expect here. This is the only Avatar thing, at least announced so far. Maybe when more of the guests get announced, there will be some sort of a signing going on, but again, there's no real release happening pretty close to this. I guess technically Magpie have the Republic City book, like officially physical release. That could be a thing, but you know, we'll see what happens. So yeah, in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on the news for today. We have the King Bumi pop along with all the other ones. We have Aang coming to AllStar Brawl 2. And then most notably, we know what the Avatar panel is for New York Comic Con 2023. What are your thoughts, expectations here? For me, the main thing is it is not just sort of expectations. It is now I think, absolute requirement that Dark Horse announce that Korra comic. If they don't, I don't have a clue what they're doing. And that is just the expectations, I think, going into this. People want that Korra comic, and if they don't get it, that's going to be a bit of a problem. I think it's just as simple as that. But in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.